Hey, fellas, we ain't gonna ever back down from nobody. I don't care who it is. This is a brotherhood. And if we stand strong together, we can't be denied. If one of us go down, we have another and another and another that's ready to fight. So let's hit this field and bang them, bang them, bang them. Somebody light me up.
Yeah, I'm bugging. That's all I know. I'm bugging out. Yeah, we too deep. Anyway, it's inside the IFL episode 36, and I'm here with you all by myself. Ed Ritter's off doing the honeydew list here this afternoon. So I'm here to give you some announcements. You guys know what's going on as far as moving forward with the league. Uh, Current owners, this is to you. With the rule being passed, you may swap your players from one tier to another tier as long as they keep the same number of abilities as they had last season. Since that flew, I need all that information before 12 p.m. this Friday. Okay, and that's 12 p.m. Eastern. All right, and for those of you unaware of what today is, it's the 25th. That would make it the 29th. So if you're for some reason sleeping under a rock, don't know who's currently on your team, let me know. I'll send you it. I have the current rosters of all 7 teams from last season. So I know who's on each team, how many years are remaining on their contracts. Teams who will have players, which means expansion teams as well. We're going to need that information from you as well before then. So it's real simple. If you take a look at the current rosters and the current teams and where they stand, I'm just going to go down the list that I wrote down. Boston Liberty, owners Bo Davis, his defensive coordinators Ed Ritter. They have Ernie Clapper, Andre Berry, Ed Ritter, and Bo Davis, all part of that roster. None of those guys are under contract, but they will be a part of the roster because they are either owner or staff of that team. Bo Davis will be required to submit to me where each one of these players are playing and how many abilities he's putting on each guy by Friday. Tokyo, they got James Dubsett, Joey Knight, Atsasumi, the wide receiver, the Kubota, the corner, Boo Weaver, the kicker punter. They're under contract. They were whatever tier they were at last season. He can make changes. Whatever changes he so desires, he may do so before Friday. Now, someone's already going to ask, what happens if they fail to do so? That's a good question. If they fail to do so, we're going to strip them of their first round pick in the rookie draft. If it's an expansion team, they will lose their first round pick in the expansion draft as well. Not both, but they will lose their expansion pick in the first round. Current teams will lose their first round pick in the rookie draft. I need this information ASAP. Okay, like for example, King Cannon, he's went from playing for the New York Cobras. He's now going to the Philadelphia Flight, and I believe he'll be the defensive coordinator. I think that's correct, and if I'm wrong, Cody can correct me because I believe he's in the chat room right now. So guys saying they hear nothing. I believe he'll be there. Okay, I know I can hear it. All right, let the guys know refresh. Maurice can hear nothing. Mighty can hear nothing. I just checked my end. I can hear it just fine as I muted the show. All right. Any case, Cody, you're in the chat. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you're going to be the defensive coordinator for Philadelphia. It's not the offensive coordinator. Either way, you are now at Philadelphia. But your 2 years that were remaining on your contract with New York will carry with you to Philadelphia. Okay? Your contract that was in New York carries over as well. That's the case with anyone who picked up a job. So we'll use the Cody Ewing situation as an example of what I was saying. If you take a look at the roster last year, Cody Ewing was a $16 million contract gold player. So if you understand the rules, Copper's made $1 million per ability, Bronze is made $2 million, Silver's $3 million, Gold's made $4 million. Do your math. 4, 8, 12, 16. That said, King Cannon carried 4 abilities. King Cannon will continue to carry 4 abilities this season with the Philadelphia flight. The question is, will Chris Davis keep him at gold, or will he move him to a different tier? But he will have to maintain those same number of abilities. It's that easy. It's that simple. That's no big deal. Everybody's going to be able to figure this out. Okay, so anyone who was still under contract with their team last season, those contracts will be honored. It's that simple. So the Capones, they got a team, but their contracts were 1-year deals. So they're fresh. They can do as they please. Thomas Goodhart, he had 2 years left. His other player, Willie Blackheart, had 2 years left. He's got to honor those deals, but he can put them whatever tier and whatever level he wants. So hopefully that's pretty self-explanatory so guys understand what's what. Owners that have 1 player, you also have until the same deadline Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern, to determine if you would like to have a second player. So if you go down the list, the Philadelphia Flight, for example, has 1 player. His player is Johnny Gatt, the wide receiver. Tokyo has both his players. Boston has both his players. Baltimore has both his players. Taco with the Cobras, he has his inside linebacker. He doesn't have an offensive player. He has the right to make one if he so desires, but he's got to do so before this deadline. I can go on down the list. Owners, you should know how many players you got. If you don't, I don't know where your minds are. Coaches, same thing for you. Scouts, same thing for you. If you are one of those people with 1 player, you have the right to make a second player. Owners, get together with your staff. Ask them to make another player. This is your opportunity. This is the way you can manipulate the system, if you will, to get a player precisely to the build you so desire. Because if someone in the draft doesn't fit your needs, this is your opportunity to fill a need without having to worry about picking it. So take it to your advantage if it's in front of you. Check this chat room, see if these guys can hear me yet. Okay, let's see. I'm checking my end. Let's see. Check this chat room, see if these guys can hear me yet. Yeah, I'm getting it clear on my end. Yep, I can hear the show. Okay, let's see. I'm checking my end. Yep, just perfectly clean on my. I have no idea what's going on. Freaking YouTube. Yeah, all right. Now to one of the announcements I gotta make. The reason why I need all this information by 12 p.m. Eastern Time Friday is because that same day, this upcoming Friday, this is for you expansion owners. Friday's a big day because Friday, September the 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we will see our 3 rounds of expansion draft. And if you take a look at the expansion channel, because we have its expansion owners, it's a channel. Only people in there are the expansion teams and the staff of the IFL. On there, you will see the expansion draft order, the link where you can go look at player builds. If you look at my notes in the channel, it states some players are missing from that page because they were created by owners as spot fillers. But I do have abilities for those players. I just never did get around to updating the website. I need to do that with my schedule. I doubt I'll have it done in time for the draft. So you can just message me if you need to know a certain build. Again, it'll be 3 rounds. The draft order for those who are not in the channel will be number 1 pick, the Dallas Wranglers, which is Charlie Monk. The second pick will belong to the Winnipeg Crusaders, which is Matthew Soper. The third pick is the Atlanta Rhinos, which is DW6 Killer. The fourth pick will be the San Diego Bulldogs, which is Marcus Bose. Number 5, the Chicago Assassins, which is the Capone triplets. 6, Green Bay Grizzlies, Thomas Goodhart. 7, the Nashville Nightmare, Maurice Spurgeon. 8, the Denver Yeti, which belongs to Mark Chisholm. And the 9th pick will belong to the Detroit Hawks, which is Alex Darr. There will be no snake. That's the order of round 1. And it'll be the same order for round 2 and the same order for round 3. There will be no trading of expansion picks. You'll go in, you'll pick your 3 players. And again, like I said, the entire draft board is there from all the free agents. Any free agent that does not get drafted in the expansion draft, you will become a free agent that can be signed with a team of your choosing after the rookie draft. All rookies that do not get drafted will also enter the free agent market. They can pick and choose where they do and or don't sign. So I'm thinking that's pretty self-explanatory. If not, we can ask the questions. It sucks that Mighty and Mark's having some problems with audio. I don't know if anyone else is having that problem. I know Maurice says he can hear. Cody confirmed he's indeed to DC, which means he can hear me. So we'll see. So again, 7 p.m. this Friday night, expansion draft will happen. Those expansion teams, I don't care how you get in touch with me. You can message me on Facebook, message me on Slack, email me, call me, send pigeon letter. I don't care. When you're on the clock, just message me, tell me the player you are selecting and at which tier they will be playing at. It's that simple. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. You have to confirm tier and player. Tier and player. Okay. I know I can hear it good on my end. I'm responding to the chat room, and Chisholm's still having problems. Checking everyone else's status. Okay, so if you can hear me, please go in the chat room and let me know you got a clear feed. If not, and you can't hear me, then obviously you cannot respond. I'll be posting all this information in the chat room here in just a minute on Slack so everybody knows. But yeah, I'll just need everybody to get in touch with me, notify me of what's what, who they're picking, who they're taking, what tier they're going to be at. That's it. Expansion owners, you then have the opportunity to determine how many abilities you're going to give these players later. You're going to have that option, so use that time wisely. This means once this happens, there's a couple rules that we need to address. Now, these were rules that went down in the owners' meeting the other week, where we discussed some rules, and there were some things that we want to, touch on again, like the battering ram. It passed 9-8. That needs to be readdressed, and we need to look at that into some further detail because it was very close in the voting. Another one that passed is if all three players in the gold tier can be on the same side of the ball. Again, that was 9-8 overall. So if you take away my votes, it was 8-7 for both of those. Very close in the voting. So we need to revisit those rules, really discuss them out as a unit, as a whole, to really be sure that's the way we want the rules to be. Once those are addressed, once those are discussed, once those have been gone over, it will allow us to move on to the rookie draft. I would like to do the expansion draft this Friday and the rookie draft all within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I just need to know from our owners how much time they need to prepare for the rookie draft. So expansion owners, message me at your will. Current owners, message me at your will. So, I mean, you're all current owners, but you know what I'm saying, previous owners. Let me know how much time you need, how ready and how soon you will be to actually do the rookie draft. I'll tell you this, it will not happen for at least 2 weeks from today. It's probably going to be a little longer, but we're trying to get the wheels turning and things moving. This way we know where we need to be and what we need to do. But first things first, expansion draft. That's Friday. Current owners, again, send me where you're putting your current players. Simple as that. I'm going to have an announcement for those as well that day. So when we get on the air, I'm going to basically announce where people are putting their players, what tier things are at, current builds. This way, when you go into the expansion draft, expansion owners, if you got a team in your division who's maybe loading up on gold wide receivers, you might want to maybe get a higher tier secondary player to counter that, or something along those lines. This way you can find yourself an advantage. So all that information will be made available. So simple. So I'm going to be contacting all 16 owners as soon as this show goes off the air with the information I need, when I need it individually, so they can send it to me. We're ready to go. The draft will take place here on YouTube next Friday, and it'll be called the IFL Expansion Draft. Simple as that. And we'll have the chat room up. Guys can chat. I just need the expansion guys to send me their picks. If for some reason you cannot make the expansion draft, your best bet would be then to put the players in order in which you'd like to draft them. So when your turn is to pick, when it's your turn to pick, I can go through the list and take the first guy off the list for you and make that as your pick for in the announcements and say, okay, you take such and such. So if you can't make it, be prepared, because if not, the picks will go right by you and you won't get no expansion players. And you might not want that to happen because we have some quality expansion players in the draft that had good seasons. And just to name a few, we only have 2 quarterbacks in the expansion draft, Dwayne Ritter and Rocket Perez. Both had very impressive seasons last year at some time. Some had very good games. Ritter did outperform Perez as a whole, but they were quality. We have 2 running backs, Herschel Mann and Justin Beakley Jr. Will one of those running backs fit your scheme? We'll find out. 1 fullback in Johnny Frost. So if you want a fullback, he's the only guy on the board. Malcolm Smith, Isaac Fulmer had tremendous seasons last year for the Pack. Both are free agents. Stenzo Woods Jr., he was key piece to Baltimore being successful. Free agent. Deshaun Wilson was also with that team. Macho Fogg was with that team. All free agents. You got some tight ends and Slinky Watts, Terry Stone Jr., Jack Law was an impressive inside linebacker. Josh Smith, an outside linebacker. Mondo and Moxon, an outside linebacker. Lincoln Fox was a beast at defensive tackle. He's on the board. Joe Starr was a very important piece to Boston. He's there. Lucas Former. Trayton Kurtz, major piece of the free safety for Tokyo. The Stallions, Turtle Jackson, a free safety. He's on the board. The list goes on. All these players can be picked by you 9 expansion teams. Make them count. So 27 of these players are going to come off the board. Let me just double check here. I believe it's 43 players. Yeah, 43 players will be in the expansion draft. 27 will get drafted. I mean, 16 players will become free agents. That's actually only 1 player per team that would become available in the free agent market. But the reality is you can sign 34 of those guys. I'm not going to limit you to 1. So this is key. You can start your team build this day and start working it. So Ramos says, hola. Can you hear me, Ramos? That'd be good to know if you can hear me, because we're having some audio issues with some people trying to hear the show. So, I mean, that's basically the gist of this show. I just wanted to get on there and let guys know. This way they had an audio reference. You know, the International Football League is moving on, moving forward, and we're preparing for Season 2. It's that simple. Season 2 is basically upon us. There's still a debate of how soon we want to do the season. Do we want to or not want to do it before the holidays? Here's my take. I'd love to wait till after the holidays and start the season early January. But at the same time, it is September. That means if we go all the way through the rest of this month, which is just a week, you have all of October, all of November, all of December. That's 90 days of nothing other than team builds. That's it. Drafting and team builds. And then, of course, we'll have like a week, maybe 2, depending on what we do for a preseason game or games. Chances are it's going to be 1 week. Will guys get bored? Will guys become uninterested? Will it cause guys to fade away, so to speak, and not be here and not want to be a part of it, so to speak, not by choice, but just because they feel like nothing's going on. They feel like nothing's here, whatever. I didn't want the league to get in the way of people's holidays because, again, the games are going to be on Friday and Saturday nights. Based on my schedule, when I say Fridays, games are going to take place Friday from me. Early afternoon Fridays, I'm talking anywhere maybe between 2 and 5 in the afternoon, and the other one will be that evening, anywhere between 5 and 8. That's all depending on how the day is. And I'm working on that now, seeing how my schedule is on a regular. That's when those games are going to take place. Saturday will be just like we saw this season. Game will take place anywhere between 11 and 1, and the later game will take place anywhere between 5 and 7 and be off the air. So that's going to stay that way. I got to get a hold of Chris Davis to see what his schedule looks like because I'm hoping he can maintain the same schedule. I can't pull all 8 games by myself. So I'm clearly going to need him. And I obviously don't have the capability of uploading games, which kind of sucks. That's another reason, I was like, oh, wait till after the off season. But, do that good old classic income tax purchase. But I got to take care of family stuff first. This hobby has to wait, unless somebody wants to donate something. Yeah, right. I'm just playing. Any case, so that being said, if he can do games wherever it may be during the week and he just uploads all his for later watching, then so be it. Now, the negative of that is he's going to be doing the West games. That means no West game will ever be aired live. I'm planning on doing some commentary when I can. The issue is I did the championship game, and it seemed to be robotic at times, fuzzy at sometimes. Just the connection wasn't there. Again, that becomes a reference of my equipment. My personal desktop is garbage. Ain't going to work. Thanks to a donation of a service laptop that I got from somebody, we're able to do what we can do, but it's still not up to standard for me to do audio perfectly. It's not helping me upload games. And I don't understand why it's not uploading games. That's just driving me crazy. And I've been investigating that for freaking weeks. I do private feeds on another channel that I got that's private that no one even knows of, so I can test things. So it's whatever. Now, the negative is, like I said, I don't want all West teams never getting a live game, which would be unfair to them. But at the same time, when I talk to those West team owners, I don't think they're going to sweat it too bad as long as we're enjoying the league. Now I know Stevie won the championship. He'd love to have a live game. I know Chisholm would die to have a live game once in a while. And these guys would love to have commentary. Same with Ramos and things like that. I see Davis says the following in the chat room. I'll be doing the same thing Friday and Saturdays as well. Hopefully the same way as the first season where the game of the week and the Saturday will rest of the uploads. So that tells me Davis plans on trying to do 1 game live and 3 on uploads, which is perfectly cool because I was considering the same thing if I can learn to upload games. I shouldn't say learn. I know how to upload them. It just won't work, and I don't know why. It would make my life easier as well because then I could record games during the week and upload them for later view, but that's not working, and I have to do everything live, so I'm going to figure it out. So, but just to get back to the gist of this episode, 12 p.m. Eastern this Friday, I need all 16 teams to submit to me their current team build with the players on their roster. I can send you your roster. All you got to do is ask me if you don't know it. I'll send it to you. Guys that are moving from one team to the next team, those contracts will be honored. So if he has 3 abilities, 4 abilities, 5 abilities from last year and he's coming to your team, he has to keep those amount of abilities, but you can put them into tiers you want them. Simple. That's all you got to do. Expansion draft this Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern. When you select a guy, you tell me what tier he's going to. The amount of abilities, you can hang on to that. And we'll get to that later. We're going to set up a time and date for that to happen. Marie says, I could care less if some dude off the street that commentates as long as we have someone commentating on the regular. It would be nice. We thought we had that last year until we got Song and Danced and Lies, and he ended up going somewhere else. So whatever. If I had the equipment, I'd be calling at least 2 to 4 games a week. At least 2 to 4 games a week. And I'll say this, and Davis knows this. If I had the equipment, I'd run all 8 games myself so he didn't have to worry about it. Because I would call probably 2-4 games a week live, and the other ones I would personally record and upload myself. But I can't get things to upload. And I would love the opportunity to do that because he has a team to worry about. So I'm hoping to come into some equipment to do this. I just don't know what I need to make it happen. It's really bothering me that I can't do it. I might just completely reinstall this whole laptop over here and just see if it'll work. And I mean, I think it was pretty much like that when it was given to me. So I don't understand why it's not working. And it's frustrating, but I'm still grateful because without it, I wouldn't be able to help do anything. So I can't complain too much. I got to be grateful for what I got. So, yeah. Like I said, it's probably going to be part of my agenda when the season ends. Or not when the season ends, when the income tax comes and gets in my pocket. I'm going to really investigate what a good desktop or laptop computer is going to cost me. And I might just have to purchase one for this league because that's how dedicated I am to try and making this league fun. Like I said, I'm not a graphics guy. I don't know how to give you all the glitz and the glamour and all that freaking stuff. But what I know how to do is give you a quality product on the field, so to speak. And I believe that's what I've done. I believe that's what we have. And as a result, I think we are second to none. And we have a good time. But I just wish I could give you guys more. But I just don't have the skill set for that. I wish I did. And I apologize for it. So, it is what it is. So we're gonna try and move forward with this league with what we got, and be grateful for what we have. Because we're gonna have 16 great owners. We had good owners last year, and when I say last year good owners, I mean all 8 of them. That's including Allen. He was good for the league while he was here. He did his thing. He was very supportive. He helped out. So things happen. We move on. We now have the new owners, new situations. So I'm just going to tell you, expansion teams, be ready. Because I feel like I'm rumbling here and rambling. So which God? Monk, you had the first pick. Remember that. So Charlie Monk, if you're hearing this or you read it in the chat on Slack there, you have the first pick in the expansion draft. You got the keys to this draft, my friend. You get to pick where you want to go first. You get to make the first selection of who you want. You get to pick what tier he's going to, how many abilities you're going to give him. That's all up to you. So use the pick wisely. That's all I can say. Use it wisely because there's a lot of good players on the board. And if you look at the rookie board, all 16 of you owners are there. If you think you want a guy on the rookie board more than you do on the free agent or this free agent expansion draft, you might not want to draft that position. Because like I said, we only have 2 quarterbacks. We only got 2 running backs. So if one of those guys don't fit your build desires, take a look at the rookie board and say, okay, we got the rookie apps page. You can take a look at them and see just how many freaking players are there that fit your needs. I'm going to try and do a quick count while we're on the air here. Quarterbacks that are in the draft. Johnny LaRusso, that's at Green Machine on Slack. Walter Jordan was a computer-generated player that we've made. Andrew Woodson's at quarterback, another one. Mohammed Ajaloni, that's at Mohammed Ojalani 15. I probably butchered his name, and I apologize, but he's on Slack. Jarrett Bradenshaw at McMorris on Slack. I have to remove Jonathan Williams from the board because Matthew Soper did get a team. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks. Did I say that right? 3? Yeah, we have 5 quarterbacks that are going to be in the draft. That's it. 5 quarterbacks are going to be in the draft. There's 2 in the expansion draft. That's 7 quarterbacks up for grabs. How many teams need quarterbacks? Allow me to take a look. Boston needs a quarterback. That's 1. New York needs a quarterback. That's 2. Tampa Bay, 3. Wow. Green Bay's 4. Chicago's 5. Denver's 6. San Diego's 7. Atlanta's 8. And Dallas is 9. So we have more teams needing quarterbacks than we have quarterbacks available. That being said, maybe an expansion team that needs one wants to jump on one of these 2 in the expansion draft. Then they don't have to worry about one come the regular draft, the rookies. Because Nashville's got their quarterback. They have hired themselves a scout, and I got to put his information down on this page. But, yeah, same thing like I said with running backs, all that stuff, all that good things. They're all going to become available to everybody. You just have to make the right choices, at the right decisions. So if you need your information, owners, hit me up sooner than later so you can work on this. So you know exactly what's going on. You know exactly where people are going to be playing. And that's it. That's really all there is to it. So I can take any questions from the chat room if anybody has anything. I gotta mention that to everybody now. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Okay. Davis says he's going to see Matthew Soper might want to still do commentary and see if they can figure that out. There you go. And again, let me touch on this one more time. Current owners and staffers, if you only have one player, you have the right to make a second one, but you have to do it before this Friday. You have to do it before this Friday because I need all players on teams signed, tiers created, designed, how we want to do it, how we want to word it before 12 p.m. Friday. Because, again, 7 p.m. this Friday, expansion draft. Simple. We're going to start moving forward. And then after the expansion draft, we're going to address a couple of those rules that passed that were very close. We're going to revisit them. We're going to have some serious discussion going on in the chat. And the guys who voted in favor of these rules that passed, if they're very untalkative in the chat rooms about why they voted in favor of things, that's going to make us determine whether or not we actually pass it or not. Because if you can't come up with a good reason why you voted for it, I don't want to pass it. If you can't come up with a good reason why we need to make sure we deny the pass, I am going to deny it. So get your ammo ready for those talks. And again, that's 3 golds to the same tier. Me personally, I wanted 2 players on one side of the ball, 1 guy on the other side. I wasn't in favor of all 3 players being on offense, all 3 players being on defense when it comes to the gold tier. I was against that. The voting passed it. You know, for me, I think it's way, 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 way an advantage, so to speak. You know, and I'm going to say it right now. Example, you could create a gold quarterback and 2 gold wide receivers. That's going to be hard to stop if you know what the hell you're doing. A gold quarterback, gold running back, gold wide receiver. Look at that combination. You know, what if somebody put together 3 gold defensive linemen? Would that be huge? We saw defensive linemen work last season. I mean, they worked. Some people didn't think they worked. To me, they worked tremendously. What if you put all 3 of your golds back in the secondary? You know, now you might not be able to pass on that team. To me, it's just a huge advantage I don't want to see happen, but it passed. So as of right now, that can happen. But that's why we're going to revisit this rule. You know, so I mean that's the problem. And like Davis just said, you do something like that, you would run the risk of not having a good game changer on the other side of the ball. So if you put all 3 on one side, the other side's going to lack. You know, take Boston. Boston doesn't mind us using him as the example. All his players from gold and silver were defense. All his offense was either bronze or copper. And he suffered scoring points. He suffered the ability to move up in the rankings, so to speak, after the longest time. He hired Marcus to become his coordinator. He figured out a way to win games, and they were always low scoring. They hardly ever put up big-time points, but that's because they suffered having big-tier players. Now, had they put those offensive players at higher tiers, would the defense been as good as it was last year? Because to me, bar none, Boston was the best defense in the league, I think, as a whole. Some people say it was Arizona. Other people went other directions. I think it was Boston as a whole, considering how often that defense was on the field due to a lack of an offense, and they still competed. So I think the defense might not have been as effective, but it might not have mattered as much if the offense was more effective, you know? So to each their own. I mean, I'm good with it. So we're going to revisit the battering ram rule. If we want to ban that for sure, you know, we got some owners that say keep it because you can easily defend it. I agree it can be defended, but it just seemed like it was overly powerful last season. And maybe it was the build of the player. I don't know. We'll see. But we don't have to worry about it no more because that player has been retired. He's out of the league, and he'll never be showing his face again. And like I said, then that rule I just mentioned, the tier builds. Where do we want to put them? You know, so I'm going to figure that out. Now, I know I said I want guys submitting their builds before Friday, and we have yet to actually fully address the issue. That's why the issue gets addressed starting today. We're going to start talking about it today. So give me your reasons not to do it, and I'm going to make a full-fledged decision by Wednesday whether or not this is going to pass or not. Because like I said, I'm against it. Personally, I'm against it. But in the sake of realism, I'm not against it because we do like to preach realism here. You know, and if a team in the NFL wants to put all their money in one basket and on the offense or on the defense, they have the right to do it. But then, like Davis is saying, you better be prepared on the other side of the ball if you ain't got a stud. You know, and you look around the league in the NFL, how many teams only have star players that we would consider gold per all pro rules on one side of the ball and none on the other? I mean, I'm a Raiders fan. I think Khalil Mack's a gold. I think Derek Carr's a gold. So we have golds on both sides of the ball. You know, we got guys in the chat, you know, like Chisholm. You know, he's a Denver fan. Von Miller's clearly a gold player. And I'll say, I still think he would classify as a gold player, although he's fallen off, as Demaryius Thomas. They got golds on both sides of the football. You know, so I try to think of teams that don't have golds on at least both sides of the ball. You know, and when I find those teams, it's because they don't have gold players at all on either side of the ball. It's got a bunch of real good studs. You know, like take, you know, any team and really think about them. You can break them down and say, okay. So, you know, and that was one of the arguments somebody gave me. You know, even though you want to deny their opportunity to build their team to their liking, it's still realistic forcing them to have goals on both sides of the ball. So owners get to discussing that on the owners channel in the everyday chat. I don't care where you put it or in both. I want everybody chiming in, whether they're an owner or they're a player. And just to see, I might even post a poll question again and let the whole league as a whole vote and just see where it goes, because that could be interesting. Maybe I'm better off doing that. Let the whole league vote and just see, you know. Okay, Davis says the Eagles, as far as he's concerned, has Brandon Graham and Cox on defense that are golds, but they have not but silvers on offense. So that could be true. That could be very true. How about that, Maurice Claret? Anyway, so moving on. If there's any questions, wait a minute, see if there's any questions, any comments. If not, I'm going to move this show to the end, and I'm going to post some of this information in the announcements as I wait and just see. Made those two announcements in the IFL announcements channel. Go back here to the chat. He said, who? I didn't know we'd catch that, but all right, that was good. Oh, man. I said Maurice Claret. I wanted to see if he caught that. He did. That was good. But no, on the real there, Davis, I was talking about Corey Clement. But that was good that you caught that. You was paying attention. Oh, you mean we ain't got no goals? Fletcher Cox is literally the best 4-3 defensive tackle in the league. Chisholm's like, fuck out of here. You ain't got shit. That's what I love about sports. We can sit here and we can argue. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. We can argue who's the better player, who's not the better player in the terms of all pro, who is or isn't a gold. And we can do it. Nobody gets offended. Nobody gets worked up and gets angry and gets mad. We respect each other's thoughts. We respect each other's opinions. We respect each other's thoughts. But if you take a look at some other things that go on in the world, we can't do that as a society. And I'm ashamed to say I'm a part of this society sometimes. Because at the end of the day, this is me like giving me my like moment. Like if you ever watch Around the Horn, they get a minute to talk about whatever they want. So we'll just call this my minute from Around the Horn, and it'll end up being longer than a minute because I can't keep track of time. That being said, I don't care who you are. If you deny what I'm about to say, you are part of the problem with this country. Every single one of us are guilty of showing some sort of racism one way or another in our day. Doesn't mean you're a racist, but you show a racial tendency once in a while. It happens to the best of us. For some reason or another, it does happen. And we as a society as a whole have to get past these things. You got a guy, I don't care if he's making $1 or $1,000,000 or $100 million. I'm tired of hearing that being, oh, you don't deserve to make that kind of money if you take a knee. Shut up. Okay? Go to my Facebook. Okay, you guys know my name. Go to my Facebook. You'll see on my wall, I made this statement yesterday. So many people on my Facebook feed whining and crying about people taking a knee, saying that it's disrespectful to servicemen and women. Well, those servicemen and women fight for this country, have given those people the right to take that knee. So stop using our military to silence Black Americans to endorse your racism. I put that on my wall. And I've been having wars on my wall with a good friend of mine, some siblings of mine, over my comment because I strongly feel that way. That's how I feel. So, if we could take the way we treat sports as an example, the way we can have that ability to agree to disagree and smile and put that to everything in life, we'd become a better society as a whole. Just my thoughts, my opinions. And the next motherfucker who says you're disrespecting this country, you can get out because you take a knee, you, my friend, should get out because you don't understand what our freaking soldiers do. Our military does. Because real simple, they fight for your freedoms. And one of your freedoms to be an American citizen is the right to protest. A protest doesn't have to be convenient. A protest does stir up controversy. That's the point of it. Okay? And I hear people saying all kinds of dumb shit, you know. It bothers me. It bothers me. Like I got people who are in my life who talk about abortion. And they're against abortion. Now I'm going to use this as two different, it's the same thing. To me, I'm going to compare the two. I got guys in the chat. You can agree or disagree with me and let me know your honest thoughts. That'd be cool. I know somebody who's against abortion, hates abortion, and the list goes on. You know where their minds went if they're against it. But they're also against the taking of the knee. To me, I don't see them as any different. And here's why I say that. If you take a knee and you find it as you are disrespecting our flag and disrespecting our country, that's your right. But if you are against abortion, you're also disrespecting our flag and disrespecting our country because the government, which makes the rules and regulations of this country that has this flag, they allow said thing. So you can't protest an anthem that our government chooses because you should get out, but you can protest whether or not people have an abortion or not, and that's okay. Both are done by our government, as far as I'm concerned. Both are something the government chooses to do, but it's okay for you to fight one and not the other. It's all right to protest one and not the other. To me, what the hell's the difference? And I don't want to hear, oh, it's a human life and it's a song. Get the fuck out of here. It's the same damn thing. You're protesting something. Just my opinion. You can't have it both ways, people. I don't care your race. I don't care your creed. I don't care your sex. If you want to protest something, you do it. Whether I agree with your protest or not does not matter. But if I respect the flag, as people say, and respect the country, as people say, then I need to respect your right to protest. Respect someone's right to protest and be like, hey, I understand your protest and I'm okay with you protesting. I support you, but I might not support your cause. How hard is that? How hard is that? It's not. It's not. It really is. I mean, it's easier than wiping your ass. You know, and don't listen to the media. Media twists so much shit. We as a society are all slaves to the media because we buy into their bullshit and their propagandas. That's it. That's why I don't listen to the media. My media is my friends, my family, people I talk to on the regular. That's my media. And when they want to bring up something they see in the paper, I don't want to hear it. I don't care because they're going to twist everything. So, it is what it is. That's why when you take, for example, the IFL, my door is open to everybody. I don't care who you are. If you enjoy All Pro Football 2K8, you enjoy the concept of the IFL, you are welcome to join. I do not care who you are. So if you can think of someone in your head right now and say, oh my God, would he let him join? The answer is yes. I don't care who he is or she. Everyone is welcome to join this league. Everybody. Because I don't hold grudges. It's that simple. It's that simple. Like there's guys in this league who've done things I don't like. But I don't tell them get the fuck out the country. There's things that you do that I might not always might agree with. But that's your right as an American citizen to do it. It's whatever. I mean, I actually had an argument, like I said, on my Twitter with my brother and my sister. And I'll read some of the comments right here. My brother, this is Taco, ladies and gentlemen. He said, really? I don't agree with how they're going about it because it makes him a racist. So he's disagreeing with what they're doing. He said it shouldn't make him a racist. Okay, I get that. He goes, he just thinks it's sad that when everyone else believes, make them racist no matter what. I get what he's saying there too, because I've seen enough quote unquote white people be against certain things and instantly they get labeled a racist. That's unfair. I've seen that. So I get what he was saying. So it's cool. My sister then responded with, shut the fuck up. Just because I don't agree with their bullshit don't make me a fucking racist. Okay, I get that. Okay. And then I wrote, all right, stand in your living room during the anthem like you always do. Oh, wait, sips tea. Because I know they don't. Even though they try to proclaim they do. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. To me, it's hilarious. And then there was the statement on my sister's Facebook where she was against the Steelers. She's mad against the Steelers. She's hating on the Steelers and because of what they supposedly did and didn't do. And again, the media spun that in a way it didn't need to be spun. So her exact words, here you go. It says, Steelers, you're a bunch of assholes and you don't deserve to be paid. I responded with bullshit. Okay. I said they did what they did in protesting the country. And for one, this is a country that's stolen. Remember the Native American Holocaust. And we as a society celebrate Christopher Columbus's birthday. People whine and cry. It's disrespectful to our soldiers who defend this country. What those stupid fools don't understand is them fighting for this country gives those people as American citizens to do exactly what these people are doing, and that's protest. If people in the country can't get with that, then those are the people who can get the fuck out. That's what I wrote. My aunt tried to say the Native American Holocaust is bullshit and it didn't happen, that they died from disease. Do your research, you old bat. That's what I said to her. A couple other people jumped on her about that. Then I posted my picture that I show all the time. Name the country built on the genocide of one race, Native Americans, and the enslavement of another, African Americans. That's what this country is built off of. End of discussion on that. So my brother says to me then, so I guess you're rooting for the Redskins tonight, huh? So I wrote, Redskin, you mean that word that means the same as nigger, spick, honky? I wrote all this. And he goes, LOL, when did you start thinking that way? Because trust this, it's only been a year or two. And that shows how distant I am from Taco. Because people who know me know I've been against that term for years. Like Ed saw the comment, and Ed mentioned it to me. He's like, we've been friends about 10 years, and I know you would always hate that word. And I said, exactly. I said, it's just a shame. It's just a shame. And I'm tired of hearing the presidents, and I say presidents plural, being brought into this. Kaepernick was taking a knee long before Trump was in office. Has nothing to do with Trump. Has nothing to do with Obama. Leave these cats out of it. This is a guy who don't like a verse in the national anthem. You don't know the verse, get a hold of me. I'll read you the damn verse. Real simple. It takes a shot at slavery, basically saying it's okay. The first slave owner, though, was Anthony Johnson, which, by the way, was a black man. Just throwing that out there. I can look at things from all sides and all angles. But anyway, getting off my little soapbox here. I'm getting back to the IFL. Expansion draft, Friday, 7 p.m. teams. I need your builds by 12 p.m. Eastern. Davis, you're in the chat. Message me on Slack. We still need to get that conversation in. So I take it no one had anything to say, anything to mention, because I didn't see anything else come up in the chat. So I'm going to take this particular episode here, episode 36 already of Inside the IFL. We're going to wrap this one up. Yeah. Chisholm just said he knows for a fact I've hated that word long before we got teams in the SFL. And right there, Chisholm is verifying that's longer than 2 years. Because I think I joined the SFL, I want to say 14. Yeah, maybe 14, I think. With season 4, I believe. I think it was season 4. Don't quote me on that. And it was long before he had a team. And I had a team for 2 seasons. So now this is the second season they've had without me in it, I believe. So it was a long time ago. So either way, that proves his statement was wrong. I know it ain't been this long. Typical Taco. Never known what he's talking about. But maybe that's why his team finished last year. Rory Harlow. I was asking about the rookies. What were you asking there, Rory? Let me see. Okay. Are we going to see the rookies reveal soon? Oh, the list of rookies. Is that what you're getting at? The list of them? I hope to do that soon. Actually, I have the list. I have the list of rookies together on the it's on a rookie channel that we have where all owners are. But yeah, I need to get those rookies posted somewhere. I'm going to check Weebly today. That's a good thing. It's a good thing that he brought that up. I'm going to check Weebly today. So here's what I'll do. I'll check Weebly and see if I can post all of the current rookies without HTML. Because if I have to do it with HTML, it's going to take me freaking forever. If I can just do a simple copy and paste, I'll put a page up on Weebly today on the website. So I'll try and do that. And I hope you guys like the new look of the website. I'm trying to keep it simple. I don't need some extravagant website like, hey, look at me. We're the coolest. I just said, you know what? Why don't we keep it simple? So I went with a more simpler look. And that's it. We're going to have a main story at the top, 2-3 smaller stories on the bottom, and we're going to have the other pages going along. So, it is what it is. I hope you guys are liking that look, and I'm setting it up like that. One other thing I want to touch on is stats. I want to make sure all the stats get taken care of this season properly. And end of the discussion. I'm not going to create my own stats company. Proclaim I'm having stats provided by places that do not truly exist when it's a bunch of you people helping me. So if you can help me. Stats provided by the community. That's what I want. Stats provided by the community. But we're going to pretty much go with the idea of having team owners submit their team stats after the games, updated, or you get somebody off your team to do it, something like that. I mean, that's the hope anyway. We'll see, what we can do or how we can do it. So either way, we want to have better stats taken care of next season because I